What's going on, guys? It's Kai back here with another video, and today the Blazers have officially played their 10th game of the season, going 6-4 through the first 10. So I just want to talk a little bit about, where they are as a team overall, including on offense and on defense. So let's start with offense. Of course, predictably, the Blazers are really good on offense this year. There's way too many options to not be good, really. And Terry Stotz is this great offensive mind, supposedly. So I'm really satisfied with the amount of points we're putting up. A lot of three-point shooters, a lot of really good catch-and-shoot guys. And not only that, but we have a lot of shot makers, a lot of creators. And I think last night's game really showcased that the most out of any game we've played so far, because we played the Raptors last night. And the Raptors record may not indicate they're a good team. I think they're 2-8 now with that loss last night. However, that's a team that a lot of those core pieces went to the finals a few years ago, including Lowry, Van Vliet, still got OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. But I think the story of the night was actually taken by Carmelo, who started off really slow. And I think it's funny because Carmelo went to the line earlier in the game. I think it was like early in the third quarter. And he went to the line. He had 10 points at the time. He was 3 for 11. And the commentators were like, oh, Melo with another double-digit point game off the bench. But he was 3 for 11. So I was like, I kind of just wish he would take, more shots, less post-ups. He's really shooting effectively from 3. And that's exactly what he did in the fourth quarter, going 4 for 5, 3 3-pointers, and really putting the game out of reach near the end when we really needed him to hit shots, and he did, and I was really satisfied to see that. Also, CJ McCollum just absolutely has been terrific to start the season. I mean, he's leading the league in three-pointers made to this point, like almost 5 a game on like 44% shooting from 3. It's pretty unbelievable, and he won't keep this sustainability, but it's been terrific to see the start this season that CJ has had, when typically he's a guy that normally comes on near the end of the season when we need him going into the playoffs. But to see him start out like this is really promising. I think last night really showed our resilience as a team overall, because it's not like Lillard has his best game. I mean, he played 40 minutes, he had 23, 5, and 7. But that's not amazing, but we still managed to come from behind, down as much as I think 17 in the first quarter. And not only that, but I think we were down 12 with like 9 minutes to go, and we managed to come back, and that was on CJ, Carmelo Anthony, and Robert Covington's defense has just been amazing this season. I love it. I love watching a really good defender. I mean, there was a play early in the game when Siakam, if you've ever went up for a layup, you swing the ball the opposite way first typically. He swung it. Covington read it perfectly, swiped it out. It was at the very end of the game. It was one of those plays that, thinking about last season, we never, ever made. And that's the reason that we were the 8th seed last season, and I think we're going to be much better this season. The last thing I really want to talk about from the Raptors game, and I've been really critical of Terry Stotz in the past. I'm not going to act like I haven't. I've also suggested trades for CJ McCollum, but he's proven me completely wrong this season. I think this is his all-star season. But as far as Terry Stotz goes, the final 5 players we played in the last 9 minutes that led to a comeback, I think is really going to be one of those lineups that we look at the end of the season, and it's going to be something ridiculously in the plus-minus. And that final 5 was Dame, CJ, Gary Trent, Carmelo, and Robert Covington at the 5. You talk about the direction basketball is going, especially in the NBA. You're going smaller and smaller every single year. You need more versatility. You need more three-point shooters. You need more switchable defenders. And I think that 5 lineup is really good, because you got Dame, CJ, Gary Trent can all create their own shot. Gary Trent's a really solid defender on the perimeter. Carmelo's not a good defender, but he can also take a shot. He can hit any shot. He can dribble a little bit, create his own, matchup. And then you got Robert Covington, who's a spectacular defender, really switchy, and all 5 of those guys can switch positions. It's not like if they do a pick and roll with Dame and Covington on defense and they switch, that it's going to be that big of a deal. I mean, you saw Covington on the last play last night against Siakam. He made him miss 2 shots to win the game. I'm really looking forward to that lineup. I think it's going to be really good in situations. You obviously can't do that lineup all game, because you need a big man in there to get rebounds and be physical. But situationally, especially against a team like the Raptors, where they barely played a center pretty much the entire night. I mean, the only center they really played was Alex Len, and he played 10 minutes. Chris Boucher had a really good game, 5 3-pointers off the bench on his birthday, of course. But I think when you're looking at a team that doesn't have as much size, going to that 5-man lineup might be really, really good, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm normally really critical of Terry Stotz, but I'm not afraid to, acknowledge when he does something I really like, and this is something I really liked. I really think that you know, him using what we have on our roster situationally, depending on who we're playing against, is really going to be the key to our success this season. So good job on Terry Stotz last night. Moving past last night's game, thinking about the other games, you know, we had 2 really dominating victories before this, so now we're on a 3-game winning streak. I was really satisfied with those 2 games, but a couple things that I've been a little disappointed in. Number 1, Derrick Jones has not been able to hit a shot to save his life. The problem with him is he's really, I don't want to say a non-factor, but he's really a super athletic dunker. He's getting better as a spot-up shooter right now, shooting like 28%, which is not good at all from three-pointer. But I think an X factor to this team is once Rodney Hood is able to come back and be healthy and he's comfortable off that Achilles injury, he's going to be a much better starting option for us. And I want you guys to think about Dame, CJ, Rodney Hood, Robert Covington, and Nurkic. That's a really good defensive lineup and a really good shooting on the wings. The problem right now is Derrick Jones. He's going to get an open shot. He's sitting in the corner a lot, but teams are just letting him take that because they're going to live with the 28% chance. But hopefully he can improve on that throughout the season. He's just going to get open looks all year. So, you know, but other than that, let's talk about Enes Kanter, who has just been amazing this season off the bench offensively. I mean, there's been multiple games in which he's shot like 70 to 80%, putting up 14 points, 10 rebounds in less than 20 minutes. I mean, that's exactly what you would hope he would give you, and that's exactly what he's given us. The only problem with that is you got Enes Kanter at the 5 and Carmelo at the 4 on the bench lineup. That's really lackluster as far as defense goes, but Terry Stotz has already said that, you know, this is what we have, this is what we're going to make it work. So I don't expect him to play Giles as much as I kind of wish he did. But Giles also is really young. I don't know if he's exactly ready to play a really dominant center, play him on defense, and Kanter's just an absolute bruiser. So, you know, I'm not too sad, or I'm not too mad about going forward with the Melo Kanter 4-5 bench unit, just because we still have Rodney Hood and Gary Trent at the perimeter off the bench, and they're really good defenders. So, you know, I'm overall really happy with the depth, as I thought I would be before the season, and throughout this first 10 games going 6-4, I'm not too disappointed, to be honest. I think we've seen with this Blazer team through the first 10 games that we can be really good in games in which we beat the Lakers, we beat the Raptors last night, blew out the Warriors, and then there's going to be games where we have some letdowns against the Warriors. The second game, blowing the lead against the Bulls, that was really bad. But I think overall we're trending in the right direction, and I've always been really critical of Terry Stotz on defense and how, you know, we've just been so bad on defense for so long. And this year he's finally got some better personnel, and I gotta give him credit. I gotta give him credit. He's actually made some adjustments on defense. I'm not seeing that much drop scheme on, you know, drop scheme, deal with it. You know, the center's gonna drop. I haven't seen that. I've seen Nurkic attack on pick and rolls. I've seen him come up and press and seen rotations. And honestly, when we're getting steals, I seen a stat last night, when we get 9 steals or more, we're 6-0. Like, we haven't lost a game when we play really good defense. And I honestly think we're going to get even better with the rotations as the season goes on. I think we're 21st in defense and 3rd on offense. I would not be surprised to see us continue the 3rd on offense and get down to like 11, 12, 13 on defense. And if we do that, that's a team that can go far in the playoffs. Now, after I said all those really nice things about Terry Stotz, I'm going to bring up a couple negatives because I have to, you know me. But I just hope as the season goes on that we see some more movement. There's a couple plays every single game that when we move the ball really well and we swing the ball, we get an open shot and it's beautiful. And it just looks so good. And I'm like, man, if we could pass the ball like that, and it's like a Dame swings to CJ, to Covington, to Derrick Jones. He drives, drops it off to Nurkic, open dunk. And it's just beautiful basketball. And I'm like, if we could do more of that, who's going to stop us? And then CJ comes down and doesn't pass once and ISOs and dribbles for 20 seconds and then puts up a leaning floater and it doesn't go. You know, and it's just a little inconsistency on offense. And one thing that we do have to understand is that on a team like this one where you have 3 really heavy ISO scorers in Dame, CJ, and Carmelo, there's going to be nights where the shots just don't go and it's ugly and we don't pass enough, and it's just, you know, it's going to be one of those games where like, why aren't we moving the ball? The ball is sticking too much. We're not, you know, we're taking bad shots. And I think that's on Terry Stotz. The real job of a coach is to get your players open shots, to get them a rhythm, right? If Dame has to shoot 40-footers to get warm, then we're in trouble, because every single player that has a really good coach gets them an open basket. They get a wide open backdoor layup. They get a wide open mid-range. They get a wide open three-pointer because they run really good sets. I feel like our sets are starting to get way too predictable, because Terry Stotz has been there for 9 years now, and we've been running a lot of the same stuff. And, you know, it works because we have really good ISO scorers, and half the time the whole offense is just to go ISO with one of those three people. I just want to see some more movement. Hopefully we see that as time goes on, because when we move the ball, we look really, really good on offense. But overall, I think that's all for today. You know, I think the Blazers have had a really successful first 10 games, being that I think 7 of them were away games. Not that home court is, you know, as meaningful this year, but the travel does matter. And overall, I think we're trending in the right direction right now. I think our last 3 games showcase what we could do as far as resilience, defense, and offense all combined. So, you know, I'll see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed and made it this far, I hope you like, comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I put a lot of time into these. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.